Today we have another story relating to family and love affairs, and it is called Am I the Asshole for Not Telling My Friend's Wife That He is My Sperm Donor? By reading the title, you already know that this is a very explosive story. So let us read this together. I'm a 30-year-old asexual woman who is currently 33 weeks pregnant with twin girls that I conceived through IVF. I've always wanted children, but never really considered them on the cards for me due to my sexuality. But now I'm in a position where I felt stable enough to bring a child into the world on my own, so I decided to go through IVF. My best friend since high school, 31 male, found out about my plan and how I was looking into finding a donor, so it wouldn't be anonymous and I could vet medical history, etc., and offered to be the sperm donor, as at least I'd know his medical history and any risks that was attached. I agreed, but made it very clear he wouldn't be my parental role in the child's life. At most, he'd be an honorary uncle due to our friendship. He was happy to agree to this, and it never once occurred to me that he would offer this without running this by his wife first. 31 female first. As some of you will likely be worried, I used a HFEA clinic, which is a legally licensed clinic, which means due to the paperwork signed when I underwent IVF, he has no legal right or obligation towards the babies, which was what both of us wanted going into this. The IVF was a success, as my pregnant state proves. A little too successful, perhaps, as is twins. I recently took my friend and his wife out to dinner to thank them for doing this for me and celebrate being in the third trimester. But his wife was confused when I explained the reason for the dinner and then angry, demanding to know why we kept this from her. I was just as shocked and asked my friend if he hadn't told his wife. He tried to explain to both of us he hadn't thought it matter, as he had no rights to them at all. His wife got even angrier at that part, stating she isn't comfortable with their son, 6, male, having siblings that aren't really his siblings, and she wants that part changed so that her husband has a legal say over the girls. I was in shock over this, but said I wouldn't be doing that as I wanted to raise them alone. The three of us got into a huge argument, and his wife demanded to know why I wouldn't tell her that her husband had offered this in the first place. I feel very guilty for not checking with his wife first, but it honestly never occurred to me that he wouldn't have done that first, so I thought if he was offering, she had to have already given the okay. Am I the asshole in this? I don't know what to do. Now, the first problem is why hasn't the husband tell his wife? Honestly, if you're doing something this big, it's like you're having you're having children outside of your family. I mean, you should tell your wife first. So he is definitely in the wrong here. And secondly, why is their wife wanting to have legal say over the twins? Because honestly, she's not uh, the parents, like, because she's outside the whole thing. The kids that his husband, that the kids that her husband has with this OP isn't really her children. So if I were her, I would ask the husband if I'm really like angry at my husband not telling me about having children outside of our marriage. I would first of all try to, like, if I'm angry with the husband, I would try to divorce him, because it's, I don't know if it is cheating. I think it is not, but you don't know things like this. Maybe some people will see this as cheating because he didn't really tell her first before he does this. So maybe it's some form of cheating. I don't really know. But if I'm angry with the husband, I'll try to break off with him. But if I'm not angry with him and I'm okay with the whole thing, and not I'm just angry that there are kids outside of our marriage, I would really try to break off with this OP first, like, because those aren't really my children, and why would I even try to take care of them? And and her husband don't really want the children either. So I don't get why she's so angry with this. If she's angry, she's I mean, if she's angry, then talk this out with her husband, and maybe break off with this friend. But I don't know why she's trying to get the children. I just don't know. And honestly, I don't think OP is in the wrong for not asking the wife first, because you're asking for sperms from the man, so it only makes sense to ask the man. And given that he has a wife, wouldn't he be asking the wife first before he makes his decisions, right? So, um, I just don't know why. It's just the because it is kind of a mutual thing, and both parties, the man and the OP, really agreed to this. So I don't see why the OP is an asshole. If anyone is the asshole, is the husband. And I don't just I wouldn't say that the husband, the OP's friend's wife, is an asshole, but the way that she's acting is a little bit weird to me. And let's see what the comments say. Oh my god, so not the asshole. The fact that he has a son with his wife makes it even more confusing to me why he wouldn't have run this by her. Yes, because now that the son has two sisters, I mean, this is just yeah, you'll need her approval first, right? Because it doesn't really not only it doesn't not only it does matter to their marriage, it is also something that would affect their children, their child in the long run as well. So at least let her know he planned to do it. You did the right thing by thanking them as a unit, since married couples should be operating as a unit. Yes, right? So the fact that the wife doesn't know all this is very weird. Not the asshole. Your friend is the major asshole here. Yes, I understand the wife being upset about this. Her husband definitely should have talked this over with her before offering to be a donor. I agree. Your sperm donor is the asshole. That's how I thought too. It was his responsibility more than yours to tell her about it. Although I do find it odd that you got this far in the process without mentioning it to her at all. Um, Maybe the whole thing is just her getting the sperm from the husband, so the wife doesn't really, the wife isn't really needed in the process, so maybe that's why. So yeah, I think this is about it. I think the husband is the asshole, the wife is acting a little weird, and the OP is definitely not an asshole because she doesn't have control over any of this. So I don't know what you think. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time.